Okay guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Here I'm going to be talking about another fight that's happening this weekend. It's the Amir Khan against Julio Diaz fight, and this fight is back here in the UK. So let's get right into it. Amir Khan, 27 victories, 3 losses, 2 of those were by KO, no draws, around 63% with the KO ratio. Julio Diaz, 40 victories, 7 losses, 5 of those were by KO, 1 draw, around 60% KO ratio. So if you look at the records, you can see a trend here. Both of these guys have a little bit of power, but both guys can get hurt and get stopped. 2 out of 3 times for Khan, 5 out of 7 times for Julio Diaz, in terms of getting stopped when they lose. So you can tell we could very well see a stoppage in this fight. I want to talk about Amir Khan first, because that will lead me on to asking the question about what does Diaz do in this fight. It was interesting. I read an article the other day about Nathan Cleverly being linked with Freddie Roach, and there was a quote from Frank Warren, who is Nathan Cleverly's promoter, saying he doesn't want Cleverly going with Freddie Roach because Freddie Roach didn't make Amir Khan any better. Basically, he didn't improve Khan. I disagree. I wouldn't go that far and say he didn't improve Amir Khan. I think he did. It's just, I've made videos about this subject before, so you know what I feel about that subject. I effectively think that Khan made the right move in moving trainer. I've said that before. I think moving with a more well-rounded trainer, in my opinion, in Virgil Hunter, was a good move for him. And it's going to take time if he's going to be able to implement those changes. But we got a first look at that against Carlos Molina in his last fight. And I did make a post-fight video on that, so you can get my full roundup of that if you want to look back from my videos. But effectively, what I saw in that fight was what I expected. We basically saw Amir Khan trying to make subtle little changes, trying to practice his new things. Some of it was successful in the fight, some of it he was back to old habits. He was doing new things, like he was going for a little bit of a walk to buy his time and to reset the action, so he wasn't constantly rushing in there. But then there were other times when he was staying in the pocket too long and throwing too many punches and falling in love with his speed, which has been his downfall in the past. That's something I'm looking for him to improve on in this fight. And the jury is, of course, still going to be out on Amir Khan, and he's on this learning curve, so we're going to still see whether he can get back into full contention at world class level. But for now, he is fighting these kind of safer fights where these guys are less of a threat. Now, I think Diaz, obviously, you still watch Khan, and I still think, is this guy going to catch Khan with a punch at any moment and Khan's going to get hurt? And Diaz can definitely hurt Khan in this fight, no question about it. But obviously there's less risk there than a complete world-class, top-of-the-division fighter, facing one of those guys. So he's still, on this building process, and he's kind of making this another fight for the UK fans here that he obviously believes, him and his team believe he can pull through on. So we know what Khan's about. You're not going to match him for hand speed, and it looks like Virgil Hunter's doing the right things with him. You watch Amir Khan train even before the Carlos Molina fight, only a couple of months into his tendency with Virgil Hunter, and we saw Khan using head control, which is one of these things a lot of fighters don't do, but it's one of these things you see guys like Andre Ward doing. You see guys like Floyd Mayweather doing it. These are the best fighters in the world. This type of thing they do technically to enhance their game, and that's something you really want to see Khan implementing. I don't think he's ever going to be an Andre Ward type fighter, but he can just build up build up his game. I see Freddie Roach as a guy who he's a trainer who he exploits and improves and focuses on a fighter's strengths, whereas Hunter is a guy that builds up their weaknesses and makes them a more well-rounded fighter, and that's what I think he's trying to do with Amir Khan. So the question is, what is the plan for Julio Diaz in this fight? Does he approach this like any other fight, where he studies his opponent and he tries to find a game plan to actually fit into his style in which he can beat Khan? I don't think that's the right way to go. I think the way to go to fight Khan at the moment, because he's still unsure and there's still this big question mark over his head, and you've seen people, he can get hurt, you're not going to match the guy for hand speed. So why not just be patient and wait to counterpunch the guy? Try and have a more patient approach. Be cautious in defence and cover yourself up well, and don't get caught by Khan's combinations. Give yourself a chance. Don't try try and put yourself on a level playing field, try and take a step back, and really just try and wait for the pocket to open, wait for Khan to make a mistake, which he tends to do, and then really, test your power. Give your power a shot, and see if it works, because it might well work. You might well catch him, and then you win the fight. So I would say that would be a better option for Diaz in this fight. I really don't know. I haven't seen too many tapes of Diaz. I really have seen very little of him. I found it. One thing is I haven't had much time, and another is I've struggled to find footage on him. But he's been in there with the likes of Kendall Holt, etc. He's been in there with a few pretty top guys. So he's fought at this level before, and we'll see what job he does. You wouldn't want to bet on this fight. You wouldn't want to put money on Amir Khan because it's too unpredictable. You don't know what is he going to make a mistake? Is he going to fall at the final hurdle again? Or is he going to be a world beater? We just don't know. I'm going for Khan by stoppage late. I think he's going to get a stoppage. I'm going for round 10. I just think Khan may find himself a bit more in this fight, and a bit more of the training he's been doing will feed in, and he'll actually be able to exploit this late on. I think maybe start off cautiously, but as the fight goes on and he wears Diaz down a bit with his combinations and hopefully implementing some other skills that will maybe tire Diaz out. I think Khan can do this late on. It may go the distance because, like I said, you can't tell because Khan's at this sort of crossroads where you're not sure which Khan's going to turn up and how well he's going to do with his new trainer. But yeah, I just want to see a good fight. I want to see Khan make subtle improvements. I want him to take another step, a small step on his way back. And I think he'll do it. I think he may look good. I think he'll get a late stoppage, round 10. So let me know what you guys think about this fight. Enjoy it on the weekend. This is Boxpred, and I'm out.